Hey everyone, I'm back! Sorry for going silent a hot second. So, before we get into the review, quick little announcement, the movie is pretty much finished. Yeah, that's right. Just finalizing the sound design and music for it. Planning on sending it out to some film festivals and all that jazz. I'll be posting updates and all that here too. And now, back to your regularly scheduled Hulk review. Last time we discussed the 2003 Hulk film, a movie I felt was pretty overhated and underrated. Now we're talking about Hulk's second big go-around and MCU debut, The Incredible Hulk. Coming out in 2008, only 5 years after Ang Lee's take on the Jade Giant. It was just as divisive as the 2003 film. Being treated as the red-headed stepchild of Phase 1 for the longest time, only given some really meh lip service. And barely acknowledged beyond that. Even Luke Cage never talking about the giant green man who smashed up Harlem, where he lives. Now it's finally getting acknowledged. With everything besides the Hulk, Abomination is finally being used in She-Hulk, and the leader, Hulk's arch nemesis basically, is used in Captain America Strange New World? Like, why there of all places? Ugh. However, I and others are of the belief that this film deserved a lot better. Genuinely, I think this is a film that has a lot more going for it than everyone gives it credit for. From the direction, acting, and even the way it tackles the Hulk and onwards. So, let's cut into it. The most underrated MCU film, in my opinion. When it comes to Hulk stories, there are many to tell, from the deep and introspective ways Hulk and Banner coexist and reflect upon each other. Truly diving into what exactly is Bruce, a man hiding a monster inside or a man locking away a part of his soul, to the more action-packed team-up ventures like the Hulk battling characters like Wolverine and Thor before teaming up, kinda. To the most iconic version, the Man on the Run, most notably the version used in the Incredible Hulk TV show and cartoon from back in the day. Banner always on the run as he's chased across the world from military and villain alike. This film embraces that type of story. In my opinion, it does so quite well, creating a great evergreen Hulk story. Now you might be wondering, what's evergreen? Evergreen is a term used for a sort of general idea kind of interpretation. Something very much not super attached to a specific interpretation, but rather just a version that can stand alone and act as a good representation for a character or IP. Like how Transformer has evergreen designs that they can wheel out for collabs or toys unrelated to a show, movie, game, etc. This film is a damn fine evergreen Hulk story in my opinion. A man on the run, desperately trying to control the monster inside him as he's hunted down by the military who attempts at creating their own monster to stop him, which ends up blowing up in their face, reconnecting with those from his past, and the acceptance of both the man and the monster. Simple, but effective, giving you the full picture of what a proper Hulk story provides. The pain, the drama, the tragedy, the smashing. Not like that, not that kind of smashing. Hulk! Like that, thank you. Speaking of, this is honestly still my favorite live-action Hulk design. I understand that for some people, it's a little too hyper-muscular and such, but that's honestly why I love it. I prefer my Hulk with a tinge of body horror, thank you. The way you can see the skin almost vacuum sealed over his musculature, every tendon shifting, pulling, and flexing, almost bursting out of it. It taps into that very imagery of Bruce's body being so packed full of power and gamma radiation, he's become a walking war zone made of flesh and bone. I love it. This Hulk practically a monster and the design capturing that, yet still not afraid to show the softer side of the Hulk, the gentle giant, especially with some awesome characterization and acting for this Hulk. This model having some great expressions. Those little beats where you can see the Hulk being sad, desperate, and of course, angry. From mad dogging General Ross for almost killing Betty to full-on rage mode against the Abomination, to also helping us see the Hulk who goes out of his way to protect people, especially in sequences like the Hulk and Betty scene in the cave. The Hulk is like a big kid, he just wants to be left alone, yet the world doesn't, and those tantrums are a lot more devastating. A lot can't have a Hulk without a Bruce Banner. Edward Norton. Need I say more? Dude's a damn good actor, and it's no exception here, capturing the pain tragedy of a man that just is Bruce Banner. The entire cast is just as good, from Liv Tyler's Betty to Tim Roth's Blonsky, and especially his Abomination. They're all just good. No real big critiques or notes. Only thing we're missing is a Rick Jones in one of these movies. Man, I miss my boy! I also enjoy these little character tics in the film, like how Bruce's body more so transforms in response to just being overly stimulated. So he has to keep an eye on his heart rate with this watch, which is pretty neat. I dig giving it this little extra bit of kind of grounding it a little more, alongside showing Bruce always working on himself and prepping in case his life falls apart again. Him learning jiu-jitsu in Brazil, a martial art all about self-control and self-defense, alongside disarming rather than straight-up combat. Us also seeing he has an escape route ready in case he was found, and seeing him break the ankles of soldiers as he runs away from them is very entertaining. Sometimes literally. There's also the stuff with Betty and Ross. My favorite bit is how Ross only stops when Betty calls him out as her father, showing that he does value his family a little more than his military work. Half the reason he's so hell-bent on killing Hulk is to protect Betty, which is cool. Just some really good little character moments and beats that help flesh him out. Good job. There's also the way Tim Roth plays Blonsky. This man addicted to always finding that next fight, that next struggle. An adrenaline junkie whose only way to get a kick is looking down the barrel of a gun. And he loves it. Especially the way it helps make him into the Abomination. The salivation at the mere idea of getting that power and having a real fight with the Hulk. It's awesome and makes him such a damn good villain. Genuinely unnerving as he slowly goes from a mere highly trained soldier into something else. But a cast is only half the reason a film is good. Now, let's talk about the... Louis Leterrier's direction is fantastic. I especially love the usage of color with things like how purple and green are spread around and used in set design, like how Bruce's apartment in Brazil has a purple light outside his window, hinting at the jade giant hidden within. There's also the really great usage of hiding Hulk in the shadows in the first appearance. In fact, I love just how much they embrace the little horror flavorings for the film as a whole, especially the soundtrack by Craig Armstrong. Especially whenever they embrace those little violin rising strings straight out of a horror film. God, it's so good. The most underrated soundtrack in the MCU. Favela Escape is peak. Leterrier's direction just works amazingly for the Hulk. The way he shows the power is fantastic. Like having a dolly zoom effect as each character reacts to the Hulk during the college battle is just cinema. The camera work and framing always doing a great job in just communicating these characters, like having a camera lower between the blades of a helicopter as Blonsky exits it, just giving him so much more emphasis in his introduction. That's not even including the damn good art direction for the Hulk, and especially the Abomination. He's just missing the ear fins. Seriously, just add those and I think it's a damn good adaptation. I really enjoy just how wrong he looks. Human yet inhuman. Skinny yet super buff. Face uncanny. Bones literally bursting out of him like his spine and elbow. God, I love it. especially the direction and how he moves and acts. Drunk on powers and always just gnawing at the bit to push and test his new body, desperate to find anything to challenge and truly fight. Like him grabbing the missile out of the air and just slamming it into himself is just great. Then you have the entire final battle. The animators did amazing, demonstrating the pure power between the Hulk and Abomination, especially capturing a really cool detail that, while not directly commented on, is the power balance between the two. For those unaware, Abomination is constantly transformed and is always at a set strength. He can't get stronger through anger or stuff like Hulk. His base strength is stronger than a freshly transformed base Hulk. But he can be quickly overwhelmed by the Hulk as he gets angrier and stronger. It's pretty cool seeing them adapt that almost entirely visually. I also love just how brutal and all out the fight is, especially the second part after the helicopter crash. Hulk getting pummeled by the chains as Abomination swings them around, and Hulk tearing Abomination's elbow spike out and stabbing him with it. Just mwah. Chef's kiss. I also like the little character beat of Hulk just being like, this guy again. Ugh, it's great. And of course, the Hulk smash. After the film came out, it did fine, only making $264.8 million on a $150 million budget. Usually a film has to make around 2 times its budget to be deemed successful, so yeah, not the best turnout. Which has led to solo Hulk projects on the big screen not really being seen since. Him only being used in tandem with other heroes. The faith in Hulk's box office quickly falling, followed by a recasting from Norton to Ruffalo, led to this film being the odd red-headed stepchild of the first phase, being barely acknowledged. Until now, for some reason? I mean, I can at least understand with She-Hulk. She's a character very tied up in Hulk lore. I mean, I guess. Then we also have freaking Captain America, Brave New World finishing this little setup. You know, in Captain America's fucking film. What were they thinking? Ugh, this film deserves a lot better. But what happened, happened. The least I can do now is give the film the love and appreciation I have for it. I think it's incredibly underrated. A very solid film with a great Hulk and stellar cast. Makes me sad we never saw a proper Hulk sequel, and it seems we're still far from that ever happening. Thanks, studio interference! But yeah, that's the Incredible Hulk, the MCU's red-headed stepchild. I love it, and I'd love to hear what you think of it too. I personally prefer it a little bit over the 2003 film, but I think this little duology is a real treat to watch back to back. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.